This is the at-home titration lab where we are going to be titrating vinegar. Some standard vinegar just from the grocery store, oleic acid, and some of the materials that you have. You've got a little cup. This is our little titration cup. You've got a couple of syringes, a 3 ml syringe and a 12 ml syringe. Two different things. And we've got some pH paper strips. And you have two solutions. You've got one that is vinegar that has a little bit of phenolphthalein in it, which is a pH indicator. And you have 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide, which is going to be our titrant. So we are doing this titration in order to figure out the concentration of the vinegar. It helps to have a piece of white paper or something to stick our little sample cup on. So for this titration, what we are doing is we are adding a specific amount of our vinegar to our little cup here, and that specific amount is 1 milliliter. So when we're doing this with the syringe, if I can bring this closer here, with the syringe you have markings on here. So if we were to pull up, if we had it fully pressed in and we pull it up, we're going to get some of the liquid stuck to that black rubber plunger piece, and it makes it hard to get an accurate reading. So what I want you to do is I want you to, before aspirating some of this vinegar, pull the plunger up just a little bit so you have an air space. So then when you pull up the vinegar, you can get a much clearer reading where that meniscus is. So we're using this syringe as sort of like a pipette. So we want exactly 1 milliliter. So I'm going to depress the plunger a little bit and until my line is right exactly at the 1 milliliter mark when it's at eye level, and then I'm simply going to depress the plunger and release that vinegar into my cup here. Now that's not enough to fill the bottom of the cup, and so we just need a little bit more fluid in here, so just get a little bit of water and add it just so that the liquid level is kind of covering the bottom of our little cup here. Okay, then we are ready to do the titration. So this solution looks clear because phenolphthalein is clear at acidic pH, but it will turn pink when it becomes basic. So we're going to use the 12 ml pipette or syringe for the titrant, the sodium hydroxide solution. So you're going to pull up on the plunger just a little bit to allow an air space so that we can more accurately view the volume of the solution. So I'm going to pull it up. I can't quite get it all the way to 12. So I'm just going to try this again. I'm plunging it back out, getting a smaller air space, and seeing if I can get it all the way up to exactly 12, which is where I want it, because then the math is easier if you can start at full. So I got it all the way full to the 12 line. And then I'm going to start adding it to my cup here. So when I start to drop it in, I see a little bit of a pink spot in the center. I don't know if I can capture this on the camera very well, but as I'm adding it, you'll see it's getting kind of pink. But the pink goes away pretty quickly. I should close this up immediately. I don't want it to spill. I don't want to accidentally contaminate it. Put it off to the side. All right, so as I'm adding, you can see now should be able to really see the pink there. And it's not really going away until I give it a stir, and then it's kind of going away. So I'm going to start adding a little bit more slowly, maybe 1 drop at a time, kind of stir while I'm dripping. And it's going away pretty easily when I stir. Now it's starting to hang out a little bit longer, so titrations are kind of painstaking. We're waiting for what we're trying to achieve is this color change. but we want to catch it right when it happens, and it's a difference of 1 drop. So we know we're getting close when the pink stays longer. Oops, I went a little fast there. Got lucky. So now I'm just trying to do it sort of 1 drop at a time. Need some like titration music playlist because it can be a little bit tedious. So getting there, getting there. I'm continuing to stir. The white background just helps us to see it a little bit more clearly. Can't stir and drop at the same time, so now I'm going to drop, oops, and stir. Oh, this is getting close. That pink is really sticking around a lot longer. I really should be doing 1 drop at a time, but I'm a little bit heavy-handed. I think I just got 3 drops in. 1. I really want to catch that color change and show you the difference between 1 drop that 1 drop can make. So it's still going back to clear, but that pink is just getting a little bit harder and harder to, taking a little bit longer to disappear. And this is the titration process. We're trying to get an exact measurement of the acid. We're trying to add exactly the same number of moles of base as we have acid to neutralize this. And in this case, this will change pH at about 8 actually. But the pH will jump up very quickly with just 1 drop of sodium hydroxide. Oh, we might have it. I'm stirring and stirring, and there we go. So I guess I could have shown you how clear it was just 1 drop ago, but with just 1 drop, we now have this pale pink color solution, and it's staying pink and it's not going away when we mix it. So now what you do is you measure the amount of sodium hydroxide titrate you have left, and you subtract. So you figure out how much you actually emptied into this cup. You record that, and then you're going to dump this in the sink. This is fine to go down the drain, and rinse it out and do it again. Get another milliliter of your vinegar with phenolphthalein in it, and do it again. So always use the small syringe for the vinegar and the large syringe for the sodium hydroxide. So you'll just refill this up to the 12 mark. You'll do it again. So you'll do 3 times so that we can average those measurements. And at the end, it also has a part for you to measure your pH with a piece of pH paper. And so you can either get a little drip of of the vinegar on here, or you can just dip it into the vinegar solution to read the pH of the vinegar solution. And it will be less accurate, of course, reading off a colored pH indicator chart to maybe 1 place past the decimal point versus what you'll be able to calculate more accurately with your titration. The end.